All right, let's dive into a really critical moment in this saga. We're looking at a situation that starts as a simple manhunt in this fog-drenched valley and then spirals into a full-blown encounter with a cosmic horror. This isn't just some side quest, believe me. This is the moment an ancient dark prophecy starts to really bleed into our world.
And yeah, at the absolute center of all this is a prophecy. Now, these aren't just some spooky words on a page. Think of it more like a ticking clock, a kind of blueprint for a coming apocalypse. Our heroes, they're about to find out they're not just watching this unfold. They are key players, whether they want to be or not. So our story picks up right after the party pulls off this daring bank heist in Zephyrus City. They're flush, they're feeling good, and they use a portal to get out of Dodge. Their destination, which should be a safe haven, Mistwood Vale, Eryn the Ranger's hometown. But instead of finding sanctuary, they walk straight into a whole new mess. See, Eryn isn't a hero here. He's a wanted man.
And the timing here is just perfect in the worst way. You've got this really diverse group of adventurers. Their pockets are literally full of gold, and they land in this remote village where their own ranger is public enemy number one. So much for that victory celebration, right? It's about to completely evaporate.
That's the price on Eryn's head. The village council has accused him of a really brutal crime, slaughtering a band of supposedly peaceful orcs, an act that could ignite a bloody war across the entire region. And it's not just him, either. His companions Welsis and Kokita also have 1,000 gold bounty on each of their heads.
So when they haul him in front of the council, Eryn doesn't beg for his life. Nope, he argues with cold, hard logic. He basically says, look, as a seasoned ranger, I would never be sloppy enough to leave my own valuable arrows at a crime scene. It's a defense built on pure practicality, not on pleading innocence. Well, to prevent a war and, figure out what's really going on, the council doesn't just execute Eryn. Instead, they take the party to meet an orc ambassador named Korga Dawn. But here's the twist. Korga isn't there demanding blood. He offers them a deal, a very dangerous and very revealing deal.
And this is the crucial point, you guys. This mission is about so much more than just clearing Eryn's name. Korga tells them that this rival chieftain, Grash, has been seen fighting with that same sinister purple glow that's tied to the prophecy. This is a total game changer. It suggests the prophecy isn't some far-off event. It's an active, corrupting force pushing people towards war right now.
So let's get to the journey itself, because this is where the tension really starts to build. The 3-day trek into Bloodreed territory, it's less of a march and more like a slow descent into this chilling, atmospheric horror movie.
From day one, the environment itself becomes an antagonist. Even Eryn, the guy who grew up in these woods, says the fog is completely unnatural. It's thick, like a living soup that just swallows all light and sound.
By the second day, the psychological pressure really starts to ramp up. The party starts hearing these weird clicks and whistles echoing from deep inside the fog, always just out of sight. Paranoia kicks in. Are they being stalked by orcs, or is it something else, just waiting for the perfect moment? And this just perfectly captures the rising dread. They stumble upon a dying orc, victim of a savage attack. And before he dies, he gives them this cryptic warning. That language is unmistakable. It's a direct echo of the prophecy. Something was drawn here by the promise of violence.
Day 3, the oppressive fog finally parts, revealing the small, desolate clearing. And there he is, Grash Bloodreed. There's no talking, no negotiation. He just lets out a roar, charges and screams that the party has wandered into his hunting grounds, and now they are the prey.
But the party's response? Oh, it's a textbook display of teamwork. In this perfectly coordinated assault, Eryn lands 2 massively damaging shots. Bip strikes from the shadows with a critical hit. Adetemus follows up with a barrage of raw arcane power, and then Welsis charges in on his horse and just unleashes a massive divine smite. They hit Grosh with absolutely everything they have all at once.
But any hope for a quick, clean fight just gets shattered. A dozen more of Grosh's war party emerge from the mists, letting loose a hail of arrows. What was supposed to be a targeted takedown has just become a desperate, chaotic fight for survival against way too many enemies.
And this is the moment. This is where the battle pivots from a tough fight into something straight out of a nightmare. Because it turns out the orcs, they were just the bait. The real threat was still waiting. As the fight is raging, 3 of these things just emerge from the shadows. These were the source of the clicks and whistles.
They're gray, featureless, with impossibly long limbs. They're called whistlers. Aberrations from the far realm, a place literally beyond our reality, a dimension of pure madness.
This slide just captures that horrifying shift perfectly. The party came here expecting a fight, driven by orc politics, ambition. What they found were these abyssal horrors drawn to the violence like moths to a flame.
And these creatures are terrifyingly effective. They don't just attack your body, they go straight for your mind. One of them lets out this blast of pure psychic agony that just paralyzes Bip and Eryn, leaving them totally helpless. Their forms are blurry, almost impossible to strike. They are so horrifying that even some of the battle-hardened orcs break and run at the mere sight of them.
After a really desperate struggle, the party actually manages to defeat the Whistlers and subdue Garrosh. But what they find after the battle, it reveals a chilling new layer to this prophecy they're all tangled up in.
The second that last Whistler is killed, that oppressive, soupy fog just vanishes. Poof. It wasn't just weather, it was a manifestation of their presence. The Whistlers literally brought their hunting ground with them. Now that the fog is gone, they start noticing details in the clearing. There are these ancient, stylized eyes carved into the trees, which suggests this place has been a hunting ground for these creatures for a long time. And then, the big one. While searching Grash, Bip finds a hidden note. A note from Korga. And this is it, the final, horrifying truth. Korga's note confirms their absolute worst fears. The prophecy, the line "when blood is promised," isn't just a poetic phrase. It's a trigger. It's a lure that calls out across dimensions, and when the conditions of violence and despair are just right, things like the Whistlers answer that call.
So, think about it. The party went to Mistwood Vale to clear a hero's name and stop a war. They left with the terrifying knowledge that the prophecy they're a part of is an active, predatory force, one that summons hunters from beyond reality. They survived this hunt, sure, but it raises the ultimate question. What happens when they finally realize they aren't just caught in the prophecy's path, but they are actually the bait?